Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Handswarmhearts. How are you? I promised you yesterday that I would be doing a video, and so here I am doing this video. We have a feature product this week, and Friday is going to be Feature Friday. I'm going to feature a product in one of the catalogs, or maybe like this one that's an in-betweener. And you see it and you're like, why do I want this punch? It's kind of ugly. I don't think I'm ever going to use it. But it is amazing. Amazing. So it makes the little tag punch. It makes these fantastic sides right here so that you have a tag. You also have two ways to do this decorative corner. So you can do the decorative corner where it has a divot out of it, like an inverted scallop. And then you can do it where the scallop is out. So you can do it both directions depending on how you punch it. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that today. So let me grab some cardstock. Let me grab some DSP. And we are going to get started. Let's see, what colors am I going to use? Something fun. Maybe navy. I don't know. I don't know what colors I want to use. I have a little square navy. Let's use that. Let me see what other colors. Maybe real red. I like real red. Let's do some primary colors today. I'm usually like a bright girl, and I like these bright colors because they're so cool. But yeah, let's do a skinny one, a square. Yeah, let's work on that. Okay. So let's talk about this punch. I used it to make this card yesterday, and I did this tag. And if you notice, this tag here has very small divots taken out of it. And this one is much deeper. I'm going to show you how I did that if you didn't watch the video yesterday. And even if you did watch the video yesterday, we might as well have it all in one place, right? I promised you a video, so let's make it a good one. All right. So for this video, I'm going to bring you down. So stay with me. All right, because we're going to focus on this cool punch and some of the papers. It also helps me to see what I'm doing. All right, so as you can see here, this is how I got this little punch right here in from this side. It can be a little challenging. I'm not going to lie to you. But it does have this little mark here, which shows you the center. So if you place it here, you can eyeball based on this mark. But if you're like, you know, really need to have precision, because, you know, there's some of us that need that. It's important. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Then I'm also going to show you how to get the two different sides. So right here, I'm going to show you, this is how I got the inverted side. You see right there, it lines up perfectly. It chops that section off my punch. So you slide it in from this side, and you kind of have to look at it, and there's the inverted. So that's what it's going to look like. Now, to get the scallop side, you just have to turn it this way. And now you have the scallop side. So once you learn how to look at it, it actually is quite a cool punch. And then, of course, this is how I got these corners. I slid this in here, pushed it, and got those nice big chunks out of the corner of my cardstock. So I'm going to show you how I got a smaller. Now, if you have something smaller, like a wider piece, it's fine if you want to take that large amount off. But if you have a more narrow piece like this and you're trying to do a thinner tag, if you take that huge piece off, I'm going to show you, you're going to have that gone. And then from this side, you're going to have this gone, and it's going to be a very awkward looking piece. it'll look something like this, because this is almost the same size. So see how it's very stark, whereas in the card, I did a very slight tag. See how deep that is? And on this larger piece, it's quite deep. I'm going to show you how to do that slight piece. So what I do is I take a scrap piece, and then I take my temporary adhesive. And you guys, I'm going to link in the description below where to get this temporary adhesive. It's amazing. I love it. And so we are going to go ahead and put a little bit on the back of here, and it'll rub off later. And we're going to line this up so that we have a border the same at the top and the two sides around this piece. And this is how you want to cut your piece. If you have a wider piece, you need to cut it wider. So if you're doing a narrow on this side, you would cut this down so that you have the same distance on all the sides. And when you do that and you slide it into your punch and you press, it's going to cut that wide piece, but because you have this border, it's going to cut that wide piece off of your scrap paper, and you're just going to cut a very slight corner off of your side, off of your actual cardstock piece. So then we're going to turn that in again. We're going to do from this direction. And again, when I lift, it just cuts a very slight piece off this side. Now, when I pull this back, see that very small, I'm going to actually lay it here, very small tag piece. Now, if I want to do that center, like to put ribbon through it, like this, remember I told you that you can line it up with this piece. So what you want to do is you want to find your center of your tag. So let me see how wide this is. I just grabbed a scrap, so I don't even know how wide it is. 2.5 inches. So 1 1/4 inches is going to be my center. So I'm going to bring this this ruler down, and I'm going to mark with a pencil 1 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to slide down, and I'm going to do it again. 1 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to keep sliding down slightly, 1 1/4 inches, until I have my my mark right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to use that divot. Can you see that I've made that line there and lined that up with the line that's on here? And then that will give me my center point. I'm going to line that up so that it's right there, lined up with that line. And then when I press, I have my piece directly in the center. And then you can just come in and erase your pencil marks, and you have this really cool long tag with just a very slight cut. And then of course that divot out of the middle, that gives you a place to slide your ribbon through like this. Okay, so that's a trick to get a more narrow piece. So let me give you the trick to this. We're going to start on this side, and we're going to push this little square in. Hopefully it is a perfect square. I mean, took it from my, and remember, this is the rounded one. Okay, so we're going to press, and you're going to rotate. Again, rounded. Oh, mistake. Aren't you glad I did this video? Because I really thought I had it going on. So as you can see, that's not what I got. Because when I rotated it, this rounded piece moved to be the inverted piece. You see that? When I rotated it, I got that inverted. This is what you don't want to do. So what you want to do instead is you want to stick this piece in, and you want to do that rounded piece. And instead of rotating it, you want to flip it over and punch it in the same way. And there you have your two pieces, identical. See? Aren't you so glad I messed that up? Because now I helped you. Let's do it one more time. Let's use the scrap paper. I'm going to trim it because it's not straight. All right. This is just some scrap. So we're going to start on this side. This time, let's say we want that indented piece at the top instead. So we're going to press that in. And this time we're going to flip it over. We're not going to make that same silly mistake again. And then now you have both of them indented right there with the curve at the bottom. Let me cut this end. We'll do, let's see, how wide is this? Looks like 5/8, 2 5/8. So let's cut it 2 5/8 this way. I'm gonna make it a square. All right. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do that same inverted. This is our inverted. So we're gonna do this side, and then we're gonna flip it and do this one. And when we do it, all 4 of our sides are the same. Now let's make one of those. Let's make one of those. Let's see, how wide is this piece? 2 7/8. 2 7/8. All right, there's our square. Now let's make them round. So I'm gonna do this a few times with you because I really want you to understand the concept. So you're gonna press, and then remember, you're gonna flip. We're gonna slide that in. Now you have both of them rounded. Now we're going to flip this way. Again, we're going to do the first one rounded. Remember, flip. And when you have it now, these, let's move this out of here. I think we've had enough cutting. So this one is one that is inverted, and this one has the rounded on all the edges. It's a pretty cool punch, actually. So this is how you get your differences. This is how you get a shorter piece. And this is how you get the regular size piece. I showed you how to do your little hole out of it. I think that's all I need to teach you with it, but it's a pretty cool punch. And now when you see it, you're not like, I don't want this ugly thing. It's actually pretty cool, right? So this green one here shows you one in one direction and one in the other direction. And then it shows you the regular size wide tag. I showed you how to make it a little shorter tag, and then how to center your piece. And then this one is the one that I made the mistake on, which is one in each direction. Then I had to trim it down. So it was good I made a mistake. I'm really grateful, actually, that I did. But I will link the description below for the punch that you can get at my online store. And I will also link to this temporary adhesive for you to be able to purchase that. That is not a Stampin' Up! Product. They don't sell temporary adhesive, but I've had it for probably, oh gosh, I want to say like almost 20 years. It lasts, and there's refills for it, and it's a great product. I used it when I would scrapbook a lot, and now I use it when I do things like this for cards where I need to secure things temporarily. So if you want that, I will do that. And don't forget to, in the next week's Tuesday's live, which would be the 31st, to remind me, ask me if I've ordered these, because I need to. So I'm not scared to use them. All right, guys. Thanks for being around. I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you next time. This is Kelli with Inky Handswarmhearts. Happy stamping!